Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and there's some news just off the press. We have some changes, some buffs, some nerfs, some things, and of course I'm going to tell you what affects us and what does not. So the trail of the Sekemas, now as a melee you take 35% less honor damage when you are in close range. That means that if you are like me and actually use melee skills like Ice Strike, Bell, etc., and sometimes you do get hit by some glancing things, well, you take less honor damage. That's really good. Of course, it goes off as a thingy. Also, something that I kind of skipped. It's likely that now it's 40 to 50% less gold for respecking. Some people spend like a lot of gold respecking. I don't, but it's useful for people that do, and also it's early access, so you can change builds and things around really easily, and that's good now. That's one of the changes that they want to put. Of course, this remember that it's not the full patch. It's likely that they add more things as it goes. So right now it is um 0:40 in EU time. So if you see this later and it has more changes, it's possible. We're going to just talk about the ones from now and then I will go to sleep. So endgame and monster balance, as you might already expect. There is some weird things when you have in your hideout, you kind of have the tier 6 penalty on resistances, and then you go to tier 11 and you get a 10% less again. People did not know about this and were going in, and of course, as you know, the difference between 75 and 65 is a lot of damage. Also, if you were in white maps from 1 to 5, you were having 10% more resistances than intended. So now it's going to be way more consistent. Of course, all on the end game. I actually do not know what it means. Oh, now consistent. That when you get to maps, you get instantly minus 20, or you just get the 10% extra inside the hideout, so you can kind of calculate things. Chaos damage less aggressively, as you might already know if you have seen some of the crabs or vipers or some mobs like the Ball Factory guys that do some chaos damage and also some spells. They are heavy. The archer also it's kind of infamous. The ones also from ritual to do a lot of damage. Critical strikes now did 40% less bonus damage. Mobs had a 100% multiplier. Now it's likely going to be 60 instead of 100 baseline. Maybe it scales upwards. If you have the crit mod, it's going to be also applying that 40% less. They have killed the volatile crystals, so it makes it so that mod does not work right now. That's, let's say, good, because a lot of people were dying because of that, and it's very annoying. This is crystal skin for the people that play PoE1. They have, let's say, changed breaches. If you had a good build, you were showered in rare mobs, and as you might expect, rare mobs are the bulk of the rarity and quantity in a map. So if you had like 5, 4, 6 or whatever rare monsters spawning from one breach, you had a lot of currency. But if your build was not super strong, what happened is you opened the breach and then you got swarmed and you died. Unlucky. This is neutral change. I think it's more of a balancing thing because it makes sense if everything in the game is kind of scarce. You don't really want to get omega swarmed also by elite mobs, the ones that do the big attacks. You don't really want those spawning super often when you just open the breach. The explosives from volatile plants I will do less damage. Vital Blinds, as you may know, it's also the ritual thingy that spawns little orbs that just follow you, and then they take like 1 or 2 seconds to explode when they get to you. These were of course one-shotting people as the maps go higher and everything. It has a lot of base damage, it's also chaos damage. Not everyone has capped chaos resistance, so it's even worse. As for Symphony Flasks, it seems it has 10 times more power than intended, and as you might expect, it's going to get nerfed. These are, of course, first changes that they are doing. They may put more changes inside. Now, this is a really good change that wanted. Now, from 23 onwards, I level, and from 64, you can get one charm slot and two charm slot additionally on your belt as a suffix. It seems. Now, electrocute, it's harder to build up. This is for builds that we're doing the kind of thing that we want to do also, but we use the support gem, so it's actually good for us because even if it's 25% harder to build up, we just gained 40% more damage on that build up, so it's actually better for us. Now there will be a new lightning damage electrocute cluster. It's likely that I'm going to try and get that one. As you know, right now we have only one cluster, kind of. It's the one that I already have. Just here. So it's likely going to be over this place between Monk and Ranger. Like this place has some extra damage. Maybe they put it over here or over here. There's like some place to put it also. We will see. Now for more changes. It's now more difficult to chain freeze enemies. That means, of course, after they just go out of a freeze, they are going to have this extra reduced amount of freeze build up. It's kind of, let's say, balancing for super party play that we're having bosses frozen, stunned, electrocuted, and they went into those three all the time and they just died. There is a Hunter Stallion notable. Now it will grant +1 charm slot. This will mean that even if you use Unique Belt, you may be able to get that extra charm slot. It's kind of useful, at least. For me, I would want to play a stun, freeze, and chaos resistant charm because those three things are the deadliest for me. Being able to maybe get only a belt with that, and if I can pass to that, really good. Now for skill and support gem balance, nothing from here really affects us apart from the fire exposure, lightning exposure, or cold exposure. We can put now this on our charged staff or other place, but I don't really care that much about lightning exposure, to be honest, because remember we already penetrate all resistances when we freeze the enemy. That is everything because Arcade Arthronis is something from minions. These, of course, Tornado and Vine Arrow were meant to be support skills, but they were doing too much damage. Now Magnetic Salvo got nerfed, as you might expect from the lightning arrows. And they also don't affect the one from the party members, kind of a thingy. And then, of course, they are saying that don't expect a lot of changes as we go into 2025. So they are putting a happy holidays after these changes. Maybe there are a little bit more of them, but don't expect a lot more of those. So that's everything. I'll see you on the next video. You can also check out my last updated thoughts with Monk. It's at the beginning of the card if you want to just watch those.